With over 1 billion users onboarded on behalf of its clients across 180 countries, Evergent takes a holistic approach to support freedom and flexibility by providing front and back-end capabilities. We're excited to welcome Evergent back to NAB Show as a Sports Summit sponsor this year. So joining us today for an NAB Show Executive Viewpoint interview is Sahil Dhar Hakim. He's CBO at Evergent. Sahil, thanks for taking the time to be here.
Really excited to be joining you guys.
So let's jump right in. AI is a major focus for NAB Show attendees this year. How do you see the conversation changing around AI, particularly with the rise of agentic AI? Where are you seeing the most momentum?
The conversation's been evolving at an extremely rapid pace. I think between the time when we're recording and when we publish, a lot would have changed in the world of AI, in the world of agentic AI. And the conversation and the questions are really evolving from how are you using AI to what is the value that AI is creating for your business. And I think that's a much more interesting question. At Evergent, when we think about AI, for us, AI and building solutions centered around AI is less about doing a checkbox and more about how do we create enduring value for our clients? How do we solve business challenges, real world business challenges that our clients face every single day? And I think agentic AI systems is where it really gets exciting, because the fundamental difference between an AI system and an agentic system is while the AI system might be great at creating the recommendations, the agentic system is the one that can take those recommendations and then actually fully autonomously execute an end-to-end business workflow. At Evergent, I think we're in a very privileged position to be able to build such agentic systems. I think there's a few components, ingredients that you need in order to do that. First of all, you need data. At Evergent, we process in excess of $8 billion in payments on behalf of our clients every single year. So that is the data that we are sitting on that is informing the intelligence behind these systems. But then data is not enough. You can have the data, but that data is worthless if you do not have the business context. Now, we've been working in the media and entertainment telecommunications industry for the last close to 2 decades now. And we have the context informed by over 70 plus data points that we track across the entire subscriber lifecycle for each of our clients. So that is the context. So you have the data, you have the context. But now in a fully autonomous future, the systems that will actually be able to deliver that fully autonomous future will be systems that can scale. An example of that scalability is last year, we worked with one of our clients, helped them process or help them deliver a live sports event where they had an excess of 2.7 million concurrent API requests going through the system every single minute. Now, that is the type of scale that is required to power that agentic future, to power that fully autonomous future. So you have the data, you have the context, you have the scalability. The fourth most important ingredient is trust. At the end of the day, you're talking about whether humans can really trust machines to make decisions on their behalf. And I think that's where trust comes in. We're privileged to have been working with the types of clients we've been working with for the last several years that have entrusted us with their most valuable asset or entrusted us with managing their most valuable asset, which is their subscribers. So I think in summary, I think we're really well positioned to deliver on that future. At the NAB show in a few weeks, one of the things that I'm personally very excited about is the fact that we are unveiling our agentic revenue orchestration platform. The agentic revenue orchestration platform is comprised of 6 agents, autonomous agents that cover various aspects of running a digital subscription business, including agents for retention, for revenue recovery, pricing intelligence, operations, offer personalization, as well as customer support. I think customer support is a really good example. We have a solution called the Evergent Agentic Customer Experience 360. We deployed it recently for a client. That client today has gone all the way to resolving about 50% of their support tickets, of their end user support tickets, fairly autonomously. And now they're seeing a path to being able to resolve almost 70% of those customer issues fully autonomously without any human intervention. And the reason why we're able to deliver this solution is because the agentic system is not just using the information coming in from the user. So it's not a dumb chatbot that's just doing the English language translation, but it's actually using the information coming in from the user, talking to all the other systems that Evergent is connected with within the customer's context, and then using that to actually resolve an end user issue. And I think that really is the opportunity. Another very interesting thing that we saw when we deployed this customer support agent is across all the conversations, it was able to identify 12% support related conversations where the agent identified an opportunity to upsell or actually increase the revenue that you're generating on that particular customer. So I think the real interesting thing that I'm seeing is when you're thinking about these AI systems, it is as much about using AI, agentic AI, to reduce the burden on humans for doing the day-to-day tactical work, but then also using these systems to identify opportunities for driving revenue, for driving business growth. I think we are in a very exciting time, and I think we're here for it.
Exciting indeed. In January, it was announced that Evergent would be receiving a strategic investment from the NBA. So congratulations. From a wider perspective, what key trends are you seeing in how sports leagues are approaching fan engagement, monetization, and global growth?
Yeah. First of all, we're really thrilled, we're really thrilled and proud about the fact that the NBA decided to invest with us. I think beyond just a financial investment, it's also a testament to how strongly the NBA themselves believe in direct to consumer as a big part of their business strategy. The NBA, they've been a client of ours for several years, and I think the investment is just further advancement of that relationship and kind of solidifying our relationship for the long term. Talking more particularly about what's happening in the sports streaming world, I think if you take sports leagues in particular, right, I think there's this kind of a emotional contract that exists between the league and the fan, or between the team and the fan. And I think no other content category, or very few other content categories, have that kind of built-in loyalty, right? If you're following a team, that team might have lost 6 consecutive seasons. The 7th season, you're still going to want to follow that team. You're still going to want to consume that same content. And I think that really is extraordinary. Just imagine if Game of Thrones had one more bad season, would you still want to watch the next season? But you'll still want to follow your favorite sports team even after they've had like a really bad season, and even if it's happened multiple seasons in a row. Now, that is an opportunity. The opportunity is that, yes, while that loyalty exists, there is a lot that the leagues and teams that they can do from a tech stack standpoint to make sure that they're nimble enough to convert, this passion and loyalty into recurring revenue, because that is the ultimate business goal. How do you take this loyalty that exists, that inherent loyalty that exists, and convert it into recurring revenue? Not just in your core market, but across different markets, across different types of price point sensitivities, and across different types of consumption habits. So that is one part. The other area that requires a lot of time and focus when it comes to sports streaming is the seasonality. Sports has this natural kind of ebb and flow. During the playoffs, you'll have this massive spike. Then you'll have a lot of churn happening in your subscriber base during the off seasons. And the best leagues are now figuring out how they build monetization strategies that kind of anticipate that this cycle is a part of life in this particular business. And so that they're not just reacting to it, they're giving subscribers the option to, one way is, of course, you can cancel your subscription, but can I give my subscribers the option to just pause the subscription? Can I create specialized bundles that keep my subscriber or keep my fan engaged even during those off seasons? What type of loyalty rewards can I offer them that marry their online experience with their offline in-stadium, in-game experience? And these are real tools available that we have co-innovated, co-developed with some of our clients. including the likes of the NBA, and that Evergent offers, is helping a lot of other sports leagues, teams, as well as sports streamers take advantage of. I think the last thing that I'd like to touch upon the last couple of things I'd like to touch upon in sports is the first is live events, right? If you're doing sports, you're doing live events. In the last 12 to 18 months, we have seen some very famous examples of very large streaming platforms kind of buckling under that pressure of live events. Whether it's a famous boxing match, whether it's a famous music concert, you have too many people coming in to a digital stadium and unlimited people, the number of people trying to come in at the same time, and the system just fails, right? I think that is something that, as you're designing that tech stack, how do you make sure you're building a tech stack that is resilient to success? What happens if you're more successful than you're planned for? Can you handle that level of success? I think that's an important consideration that sports teams, direct-to-consumer sports businesses need to keep in mind. And the third one is taking something that is regional in nature, and how do you really monetize it at a global scale? And I think the NBA is a perfect example of that. Till a few years back, NBA had done a great job in culturally exporting the game of basketball across the globe. But then there was so much untapped potential in terms of converting that cultural export into actual recurring revenues in a direct-to-consumer format for the business. And I think they've done a fantastic job in being able to, over the last 3-4 years, launch in across over like 180 markets, across different types of price points, different types of promotions, different types of app store strategies across each of these markets. So no two markets are going to be the same. But do you have the tools that allow you to really customize for every single market, and then allow you to experiment and change practically at the speed of thought? You have a new idea of a pricing experiment on Monday. Can you go to market with it by Tuesday? Can you make sure that you're firing as many bullets before you shoot the cannonball, so that you're able to do the right experiments, able to get the right sort of inputs in place before you do the big bang launch? So I think these are the 4 things that really would matter, or kind of are the most important trends that anyone in sports streaming should be paying a lot of attention to, starting with how do you make sure that you have the right tech stack in place to convert that loyalty into recurring revenue? How are you handling your seasonality? How are you handling your scalability for live events? And then are you poised for global growth? So that's what I would like to share.
Oh, we're looking forward to Evergent's sports theater session. It's titled NBA League Pass, D2C fan engagement and the future with AI, where you'll be speaking with Ken DeGeneiro, who's the EVP of Media Operations and Technology at the NBA. What can NAB Show attendees look forward to with this in-depth case study of NBA League Pass and the NBA's direct-to-consumer model?
Yeah, I'm really excited about that session. I'll be moderating that session, and we'll have Evergent's founder and CEO Vijay Sarja alongside Ken from the NBA. I think the NBA League Pass is already everyone in the world knows that they are the case study. If you're thinking about a sports league that has successfully been able to take their direct consumer business model globally and scale it globally. I think the session will offer a lot of behind the scenes of how NBA is thinking about the fan experience, how they're thinking about driving engagement, how they're thinking about monetization strategies, kind of how they're really thinking about this concept of hybrid monetization and not just a one-size-fits-all approach. The session will definitely go into talking about what is the infrastructure backing all of this thinking, because you might have great ideas, but do you have the right tech stack? Do you have the right infrastructure to back those great ideas, to make all of those great ideas convert all of those great ideas into reality? You'll also spend a good amount of time during that session talking about themes related to AI and what an agentic/autonomous future would look like when it comes to fan engagement, revenue orchestration, and really discussing some real world use cases of AI beyond just all of the hype. How do you bring AI into the day-to-day operations of running a global streaming business? So I'm really looking forward to that session.
All right, we look forward to that too. To hear more about the future of fan engagement, stop by the Sports Theater on Monday, April 20th at 9:45 a.m. for Evergent's NBA League Pass, D2C fan engagement, and the Future with AI session. If you can't make the session, Evergent will also have a West Hall meeting room, and that is W2474. Again, the meeting room is W2474 in the West Hall. We can't wait to welcome you live and in person at the Las Vegas Convention Center for the 2026 NAB Show. That's April 18th through the 22nd. We'll see you there.